All right, I think this is working in my very first live. So today I am at Star Wars World. I don't know if even my microphone's working, but I figured I'd give it a shot here. So it got me thinking about everything that you see before you, right? I was at a career fair last week, and students were talking about just dream jobs, right? And typically you've got engineers that work at Disney, right? They're called Imagineers. Okay, so what their job is to create all these knickknacks and things, and of course here I am in front of the Millennium Falcon, and those are sort of dream jobs that everyone aspires to, right? Maybe they even got you into engineering in the first place, but what I want to say is sometimes those dream jobs, heck, I wanted to work for SpaceX and Tesla and everything myself, but those dream jobs are the ones where there's a ton of competition and they can be pretty stressful. Okay, oh my gosh, there's Chewie back there actually. I don't know if you guys are Star Wars fans like me. Where is he? He's back there somewhere. But yeah, those types of jobs and those roles, they have a lot of competition and they breed a lot of stress into your life. So sometimes the best thing to do is to actually have a boring job, because guess what? All of those you see all this behind me here. It looks all amazing, and it's all nicely done, the detail. That's what Disney's so good at, but everything was made possible by a boring engineering job. So you had to have electrical engineers that created the grid for Disney to be on. They had to grade it all. They had to do everything. Oh, hey, I got Martin on there. Nice. Man, I'm doing a live. This is cool, dude. I don't know if you can see me or not. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. That's super cool. But the boring engineering jobs are the ones that kind of make all of this possible. So the story with Disney here in Orlando is that they had about 400 square miles that they bought back in the 50s. So imagine all the work they had to do to level the land, to bring in electricity. There's a famous substation here with the Mickey Mouse ears, and that's actually a Tampa Electric station, and it's a wonderful side of a wonderful engineering idea for somebody to do that. Oh, nice, you can hear me. Yep, nice, great. Glad it's working. This is cool. So the infrastructure had to be built up, okay? And then eventually, yes, you have these Imagineers who are creative folks, and it's kind of it's a cross between being an artist and an engineer. But just think of all the competition that comes in. Oh my gosh, I think that's Ray right there. That's super cool. Oh, that's awesome. There's Ray. That's awesome. Okay, so that is sorry, I'm a little bit yeah. There's Chewie and Ray. This is freaking awesome. I love this spot. So those other dream jobs have a lot of competition. Okay, what people don't realize is, though, you have to really put forth a lot of effort and to commit yourself and dedicate yourself fully if you want to work at SpaceX or Tesla. And that's what I hear all the time, right? You go to a career fair and the students go, oh, I'm doing aerospace. Okay, that's great. What do you want to do? I want to work at SpaceX. Okay, that's awesome. Everybody wants to do that as well, and that's fine. For some people, they will make it to SpaceX or Tesla or Facebook or Google, whatever companies they want to work for, but therein lies a lot of stress. Okay, so my thought after kind of being here is realizing that you don't have to have those jobs, and I don't want people to be disappointed though either, right? In fact, full disclosure, I myself applied for Tesla back in the day, but it was something that I wanted to do. I was doing my master's in battery storage technology, and it was I said, you know what, I should be able to work for Tesla, and guess what, I got denied. It happens, but I kept on going, and I entered the power industry regardless, and now here I am. Chris, didn't expect to see this channel live. Nice. Yeah, hey man, yeah, I'm out here just I was kind of inspired by this backdrop, but so if you look, that is actually the Millennium Falcon. This is at Star Wars World in Disney, so it's kind of a pretty cool spot. I thought I'd share with everybody. There's a lot of people back there. I don't want to go into the crowd because you guys probably can't hear me then, but yeah, pretty cool. So back to my spiel here. Sometimes having the boring job, right, being a civil engineer that grades building foundations, or being an electrical engineer in the power industry, right? I defend the power industry a lot on my channel because that's the industry I'm in, and it's not sexy. It's we're not designing the Millennium Falcon here or anything like that, right? But we are providing power to businesses and people that desperately need it. So it is a core industry, and it's not one to be underestimated. What is it? What do you think about? So I got to turn my head. Okay, what I think about electronics and embedded systems engineering? That's a great field. Electronics, I think, have a long future ahead of them. If you think about everything, it's even getting smaller and smaller. So I think there's going to be so many more challenges, though, trying to fit everything in, and there will be tons of engineering issues that'll have to be addressed. So I think you're in a great field. Good for you. What year are you in? Let me know in the chat. Power engineers on top. Yeah, no, power doesn't get enough love. That's the truth, right? That's one of the goals of my channel, is to kind of give power a bit of a voice, but also, I do enjoy making videos just in engineering and lifestyle and career and all that in general. But sometimes, guys, when you have a boring job, which I don't, my position, I don't think that it's the most exciting thing being a manager. You have to go into, there's work I do. About 25% of my work is probably technical, about 75% is managerial, so I'm overseeing projects and design teams and things of that nature. But it's exciting at times when new things pop up. But no, I'm not designing the Millennium Falcon, as I said, or anything here at Star Wars, right? So it's boring in that sense. But the nice thing is I have total stability, right? So I know that being a power engineer, I'm in demand. If something bad happens with the company I'm working for, guess what? I can go work somewhere else, typically anywhere else in the world. Yep. If you guys are just joining, I am at Star Wars World at Disney. Community college, electronics kid, and starting algebra right now. Good for you. Good for you. Have I worked for contractors, utility suppliers? Yes, I work for consultants, and I've worked for utilities. And when I was an engineering student, we had a few projects that were with some suppliers. So in that aspect, the power field, for instance, is very large. You've got so many different things. You've got those that I mentioned. There's also research you can get into. You can get into regulation. You can even get into financing. So there's the buying and selling of power. There's a lot of different things you can do in power, but it's good. Okay, you're starting algebra right now. Good for you, man. Yeah, you got to start somewhere. But no, guys, that's really it. I just wanted to share. This is my first live. Never done one before. I figured I'd give it a shot here in this awesome spot. But just wanted to say sometimes that having a boring job is a great thing, right? You can focus on your family. You can focus on yourself. Like, look, I'm here right now, right? So there's some freedom to that. If you are trying to go for the job that has the most demand, the most competition, like being an Imagineer or working at Tesla or SpaceX or any industry that you're thinking of getting into, there are top tier companies. That's all fine, but understand that it's going to be a massive commitment. You'll be working 50, 60 plus hours just to stand out. And if you slip up, then someone else is coming in behind you and taking your spot. So you have to really be on top of your game and understand that it's going to be a lifelong commitment. Whereas if you do something that is quote unquote boring, then you can have more of a life, right? There's always that one saying, it's like, the dying man never wishes to have spent more time in the office focusing on his career. No, he wanted to spend more time with his family and enjoy his life. So something to think about, right? If you enter an industry that has certainly good pay and benefits and all that too, but that maybe doesn't have as much competition, you'll have more of a life. So let me see. No, Chris, I would not say the power industry is boring. I don't mean to dissuade you. No, there are some awesome parts to it. For instance, the projects that I work on, we work on substations, and they're varied. I mean, some of them are from 34 kV all the way up to 500 kV, and depending on the applications, we're building ones for data centers, solar interconnection projects. There's all kinds of things you can do. So no, and it depends on what side of the design you're on. So I think the misconception with power is that people think that you'll be on call 24/7 and then have to wait, go in the middle of the night to check something at a substation that a relay tripped. Yes, there are those field type jobs, okay, but that is not what most people do. Most people in the power end up supporting those roles, right? So I'm on the design side of those projects, but there's also construction, there's conceptual, there's standardization, there's so many different types of things. So But no, I mean, look, guys, work is work. A job is a job, right? So yes, there are exciting things about my job, but also very boring things about my job too. And that, I mean, even if you were a quote unquote Imagineer building this Millennium Falcon here, you'd probably say the same thing. So that sounds up. Yeah, when I think about the power industry, it reminds me of Nikola Tesla. Yes, yes, very true, Chris. So Nikola Tesla is probably the reason why I am a power engineer, because he's Serbian and I'm Serbian, and it's just like the most Serbian thing you could be is to be a power engineer. So anyway, but no, not true. My parents had a big influence on me, but yes, Tesla is a big influence in that space for sure. There's always something to learn. Absolutely, guys. I mean, look, there are people that I work with on my team that have 30, 40, 50 years of experience. And yeah, I mean, do they know everything? No, because we're always changing something, right? There's new technology coming in and out. Power is a little slower in the change because everything is standardized and regulated, right? So the utilities in a way can operate. There's a lot. I don't know if you guys can hear that. This thing is like taking off behind me. The utilities can operate in their own capacity. They're not monopolies per se, but they make their own rules. But still, they want to optimize and protect their grid the best way that they can. So the best payer depends on the bit. Yeah. So yeah, Martin, there, the industry that has the best pay, it really depends on the position as well. I mean, obviously, as you move up, okay, you know, you start out as an entry-level engineer, then you become mid-level, level 2, level 3. I made a video about this. It's like 45 minutes long. It's about electricals in general, and then you enter the higher-up technical roles and the managerial roles. Yes, certainly the pay increases there, but it depends on a few things. It depends on the position. It depends on the industry. It depends on your location. It also depends on your company, right? So if you're working at a startup, you might get paid very little starting out with a ton of responsibility, but if that startup hits it big, well, then you might, you know, hit the jackpot. It really depends. But typically, you know, what I've noticed, and one of the reasons why I started this channel was I noticed that a lot of people were doing programming or computer science, and not enough were doing electrical or even other traditional engineering industries. And it kind of just made me think, well, everyone can be a programmer. Obviously, now we know what happened with ChatGPT and everything too. They've had to really kind of rethink what they're doing. There's still a spot for programmers, of course, but now you've got to be really, really good. So in my view, there is so much demand for people to go into these traditional engineering roles. And of course, I'm an electrical engineer, so I'm going to talk about that the most. But yeah, Martin, to answer your question, it does depend on what you're doing. But in the U.S., the pay varies on the type of engineering, but you know, everyone will hit a good spot after 5 to 10 years, right? And you'll be in six figures no matter what, if that's kind of the question that you're asking. Is there a lot of math in the power industry at a high level or not? No, you've got to get the math done through school. It depends, right? So like if you're doing studies and if you're doing research, then yes, you'll be in a ton of math. To tell you the truth, right now, in the design work that I do and then my team does, no, we don't involve ourselves in with too much math at all. We do have to understand things, and we have to verify, and you know, we do open up the textbooks sometimes as well, but no, it really, no, you don't use as much math. I'm not going to say most roles, but let's say 30-40% of the roles that you're going to enter, you're probably not going to use all the math you learned in engineering school, for sure. Okay, guys, I probably have like 2 more minutes. My wife is pinging me, but yeah. No, software engineering is good. Worried about not graduating 4 years. Guys, look, no. Actually, I got a video coming out next week that Martin, who's on the chat here, he's my go-to guy, he's my main man, he's my editor. He's making a video about, am I too old for electrical engineering? And I get this question all the time. I'm surprised, because the truth is, I'm not going to give away what we're going to talk about in the video, but if you're 18, 19, 20, 25, even 30, you have plenty of time. Okay, no one's going to look down on you if you finish a little bit late. All right, yeah, your life could happen, right? Maybe you had to go back and take care of your family. Maybe you had to work, or maybe you were in the military or something else, or you switched majors. That's okay. If you made it through, you made it through, right? When I see a graduate now with an electrical engineering degree, I know what you've been through, and you know, I know how difficult that is, and I respect that. So you know, don't worry if it's going to be a little bit later, and if you're no longer 22 years old when you finish. That's not a problem, because guess what, most careers last 30-40 years. So yeah, don't concern yourself too much about it's taking me a longer time or if I switch and all that. But I'll address that more in a video coming up. Doing it, yeah, like software, yeah. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in. I can walk around a little bit more. I'm gonna have to go see my family now, but I hope this was fun. I wasn't really planning on doing this, but what the heck, decided to try it out. Yeah, you gotta grind. No, it's not easy, guys. This is not an easy degree. Okay, I've addressed that quite a few different times, but it's not an easy degree. But if you can get through it, then you will be one of the proud, the few. Okay, all that good stuff. But very few electrical engineers graduating. I think I saw a stat that in 2003 or something there were 14,000 that graduated in the U.S. and now in 2025 there are also 14,000. So even though our major has so much more demand in all these different industries that we talked about, there aren't more electrical engineers. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, that's one of my goals of this channel. Hope it's helping you out. Yeah, take some time. Guys, if you like this, let me know in the comments. Maybe we'll do these some more. I do like to travel with my family as often as I can. And if I'm in a fun spot like this, I will let you. Oh, by the way, there's a TIE fighter right there. That's freaking cool. Let me see if I can see anybody else to show you. I think there are some stormtroopers. I don't know if anybody else is a Star Wars fan, but this stuff I geek out about. Alrighty, guys. Take care. Okay, now what?